Hi folks, welcome to Crisco's Corner. Are you tired of the same old blah, 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 blah from the media? Do you like unfiltered commentary? Would you like to go back to the days when our rights meant something? Well, you've come to the right place, Crisco's Corner. The fight to get back the ideals of our founders will be long and hard. Please support the channel by subscribing. And as always, thank you for your support. Hi folks, welcome back to Crisco's Corner. Now those of you familiar with the Babylon Bee knows they're a satirical website that puts up fake headlines for fun, for a joke. This is not from the Babylon Bee. This is not a fake headline. This is real. I repeat, this is real. It is not a scam. It is not a false news report. Is that BS for real? Twitter reacts to Black Lives Matter's nomination for the Nobel Peace Prize. Let me repeat that. Black Lives Matter has been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. This is not a scam. This is not a joke. It's for real. The nomination of the Black Lives Matter movement for a Nobel Peace Prize by a Norwegian lawmaker has led to a swift negative response online. Oh, do you think? In making the nomination, Norwegian MP Pete Edie claimed that the movement caused other countries besides the United States to confront alleged racism within other societies, The Guardian reported. I find that one of the key challenges we have in America, but also in Europe and Asia, is the kind of increasing conflict based on inequality. Eddie told the outlet. Black Lives Matter has become a very important worldwide movement to fight racial injustice. They have made a tremendous achievement in raising global awareness and consciousness about racial injustice. Now, I wouldn't think there's a lot of racism in Scandinavian countries that are 98.888% white. I don't see any huge, they're not very diverse, in other words, like the United States is. And so he's bringing worldwide awareness that if you're in Africa, the racism that's involved there. Are you effing kidding me? I kept a straight face until now. This is so much bullshit, I can't even begin to tell you. And this, I hate Trump's guts. I voted for Biden people. This is what's coming to a theater near you or a town near you. This batshit crazy stuff. Now, those of you familiar with Richard Spencer, he's the ass hat that's part of the white nationalist, white supremacy movement here in the United States. The guy's a piece of crap. That would be like Richard Spencer getting put in for a award from the NAACP. This is how ridiculous this is. The parliamentarian said the BLM movement has been able to mobilize people from all groups of society, not just African Americans, not just oppressed people. It has a broad movement and in a way which has been different from their predecessors. So if everybody bands together against racism, you're already all together already. So who is there to go after? The movement itself was founded in 2013 by Alicia Garza, Patrice Cullors, and Opal Tometi in response to the shooting of Tyrone Martin in Florida. Now, my understanding is billions of dollars has flowed to the Black Lives Matter nonprofit. I wonder where the hell all that money went. I wonder if these three people, plus God knows how many others, live in much better homes now, drive much better cars, own a lot more stock, have a lot more personal wealth. Be interesting if some investigative reporter, maybe if Project Veritas gets a hold of this, maybe they ought to check that out. Garza has denounced the uniquely American economic system of capitalism and called it for be abolished because she said it oppresses blacks. Cullors, meanwhile, has said she and Garza are trained Marxists, a political ideology that is often associated with authoritarian regimes. Often associated? It's always been that way. Much of the reaction online to the nomination was a mixture of disbelief and outrage. I mean, much of it. Should have been all of it, but there's always that 10% stupid. Somebody put, the 1619 Project gets a Pulitzer, which is complete bullshit. But they get a Pulitzer. Cuomo gets an Emmy. I live in New York. No comment. Black Lives Matter gets nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. We live in extremely stupid times. Now, that's being kind. Here's a picture of a building after a Black Lives Matter peaceful protest. BLM for the Nobel Peace Prize has to be one of the most oxymoronic thing I've ever heard in a while. The Babylon Bee. Now, Babylon Bee is the site that's satirical. Babylon Bee is a site I saw yesterday that says Democrats in Congress to reinstate Donald Trump over Joseph Biden. That way they can impeach him and remove him from office constitutionally because he's not a president now. And it's a joke. That's what Babylon Bee does. They put up fake news articles for fun. This is from the Babylon Bee. BLM nominated for new Nobel Mostly Peaceful Prize. It's a joke, of course. In the background, of course, is the burning. Breaking, the Marxist Black Lives Matter movement that was involved with Antifa causing riots and billions in damage all summer of 2020 been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. Let's see, what else we have here? Lost lives and extremely costly billions in damages all summer of 2020 with damaging riots, looting, and killing leads Black Lives Matter being nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. What has our world come to? And you list it here. Now, if you notice for this summer, this only lists basically just less than 2 weeks from May 26th to June 8th of last year. Across 20 states, $1 to $2 billion, probably closer to 2. And that, folks, is less than a 2-week period of all summer. How about the Nobel Peace Prize for BLM? Is that bullshit or for real? Many also point to statements made by Black Lives Matter activists who have specifically called for violence in order to effect political change, which is the general definition of terrorism. In June, the president of the Greater New York Black Lives Matter chapter, Hawk Newsom, told Fox News' Martha McCallum, if this country doesn't give us what we want, we will burn down the system. I'll put him up for a prize. After the host challenged him to explain his statement, Newsom responded, I said, if this country doesn't give us what we want, then we will burn down the system and replace it. I could be speaking figuratively. I could be speaking literally. It's a matter of interpretation. Yeah, okay. But of course, the speech that the President Trump gave outside the Capitol caused the insurrection. And these guys, when they talk like this, it's just freedom of speech. And that's the way it is. The following month, Portland-based Tia Carpenter told supporters during a rally in the city, there's no such thing as effing peaceful protest. Okay. Black Lives Matter. F-U-C-K, the peaceful protest. There's no such thing as an effing peaceful protest. That is an exercise in all lives matter bull blank. There is no peaceful protest. We don't need more than statements. We need effing change, Carpenter yelled. BLM advocates have also called for defunding and eliminating police departments, which many believe will lead to a societal collapse. Oh, do you think? Do you think? No law and order. Isn't there a movie, The Purge, I think I've never seen one. I guess there's more than one where in a 24-hour period, basically anything goes. In his interview with The Guardian, Eddie said he did not want his nomination to be viewed as political in nature. I'm sorry. That was a good one. He also pushed back against people who pointed out the obvious truth, that much of the violence, rioting, and destruction committed in major cities around the U.S. most of the last year were linked to Black Lives Matter activists. Studies have shown that most of the demonstrations organized by Black Lives Matter have been peaceful, he said. Of course, there have been incidents, but most of them have been caused by the activities of either police or counter-protesters. Yeah, the police burned all those buildings down. Yeah, the police looted all those stores. In fact, according to analysis by the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project, well, that's a mouthful, hundreds of riots featuring BLM activists were violent last year, causing billions in damage. Some estimate as well as dozens of deaths. Boy, what about an insurrection? Was it 6 people now? The total is now that died, and it's sad. It sucks. I guess 2 of them were law enforcement. One was that poor Air Force vet. I'm not sure on the other 3. Yeah, it sucks. There's 10, 20 times that. And you know what you get? Here's what you get from the leftists concerning all the billions in damage and all the dozens and dozens of people that died. Here is their response. I'm sorry, what was that? I didn't hear that. What was your response to all the Black Lives Matter and Antifa protests that destroyed billions of dollars and killed dozens and dozens of people? I'm sorry, what was that again? Well, thank you for that response. Buried inside the ACLED report, as enterprising journalist Joe Pullman of The Federalist discovered, are numbers indicating that of the 633 incidents coded by the ACLED authors as riots, 88% are recorded in involving Black Lives Matter activists. 88%, pretty high. Data for 51 incidents lacked information about the perpetrators' identities. Black Lives Matter activists were involved in 95% of the riots for which there is information about the perpetrator's affiliation, Heritage Foundation senior fellow Mike Gonzalez wrote in November. Those are pretty high numbers. And those of you are saying, well, they tried to overthrow our government. It's not quite the same. They were fighting for rights. Horse shit. There's estimates that at the rally in front of the Capitol were 400,000 people. We'll say that 2,000 stormed the Capitol. 2,000. That's 2 over 400 for you math majors out there. And that's 1 over 200. That's pretty small, 1/2 of 1%. As we look down, as we can see the percentages for Black Lives Matter are 88 and 95. 1/2 of 1% of the people at the Trump rally, or the Stop the Steal rally as they called it, 1/2 of 1% acted like dumbasses and ridiculous idiots, probably but done by instigators, but even still, they did it. They entered the Capitol, they busted the windows, they went in. 1/2 of 1%. And we look at the bottom here, 88% are recorded as involving Black Lives Matter activists. Black Lives Matter activists were involved in 95% of the riots for which there is information about the perpetrator's affiliation. So we go from 1/2 of 1%, which is the end of the world, and we need to purge 75 million people and re-educate them that voted for Donald Trump, because look what they did to the Capitol. Meanwhile, 1,000 times that is done, and all you get from the Democrats is crickets. Sorry, I like that cricket button. But I think it proves a point. Everybody knows there's hypocrisy with the Dems, especially the progressives. But it gets to the point now, what do you say? You can't use the word hypocrisy anymore or double standard, because this is so flagrant it has no meaning. You can't even begin to touch the the seriousness of their double standard and hypocrisy. Is there another word that maybe describes ultra hypocrisy? I don't know. But this is not a Babylon Bee article, folks. In fact, I wish it was. But now that I think about it, I'm kind of glad that it's not. Because now, all of you, I hate Donald Trump's guts. He's an asshole. He's a racist. He's a misogynist. He hates Mexican. He hates Muslims. He's a pervert. He can't stand women. Blah, 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 blah. He hates Hispanics. He hates blacks. Hates poor people. Blah, 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 blah. So I didn't vote for him because he's all those things and more. He colluded with the Russians. He sold out the country. He's a puppet of Putin. Well, look at this. Look what you voted for. A group that's a Marxist organization in a free country, a constitutional republic like the United States, they have a Marxist doctrine that caused, either directly or indirectly, billions of dollars in damage, and dozens of people died. That's not counting the tens of thousands of lives you destroyed and businesses you've destroyed, a lot of them minority owned. And what do you get for that? You get nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. Folks, you can't make this shit up. And until next time, goodbye and good luck.